right. Welcome back, everyone, to Red Spotlight Entertainment. I'm Lexus, joined by David, of course, for our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reaction commentary series made for the longtime S.H.I.E.L.D. fan wants to come back on here and talk endlessly about one of our favorite shows of all time. Last time we were here, we talked about the mid-season finale, or if you want to call it the finale to Season 3 A, which was Maveth, which was an explosive finale. And today we are at the beginning of a new, I guess, the second half of Season 3, or I guess the beginning of Season 3B, however you want to call it. Today's episode is called Bouncing Back, and this was written by Monica Owusu-Breen and directed by Ron Underwood. It was broadcast originally on March 8th, 2016 on ABC Network to 3.52 million viewers. Of course, having our returning cast, Clark Gregg, Ming-Na Wen, Chloe Bennett, Ian DeCasticker, Elizabeth Henstridge, Nick Blood, Adrian Palicki, Brett Dalton, I believe, was also... Oh, no, not Brett Dalton, I guess. Henry Simmons and Luke Mitchell. Of course, our returning guests, Powers Booth as Gideon Malik, Juan Pablo Raba as Joey Gutierrez, William Sadler as Matthew Alice, Natalia Cordova-Buckley makes her debut as Elena Rodriguez, Mark Dacascos as Guerra, Spencer Treat Clark as Werner von Strucker, Yancy Arias as Victor Ramon, and Gabriel Salvador as Lucio. Some information as far as the writing of the episode. The episode opens with a mysterious flash forward to 3 months in the future, showing an unidentified S.H.I.E.L.D. agent seemingly dead in space. EP Marisa Chancharoen called it the promise of something fairly ominous to come, and stated, "We will be uncovering things from the mid-season opener all the way to the finale. We will slowly be discovering what the image is." Her fellow showrunner, Jed Whedon, explained that the decision to use the flash-forward device in the episode was made to kick off the second part of the season with a mystery. All right, let's go ahead and get into the comments that we received from last time. David, go ahead and take it away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. First one's from Serenity. It says, "I'm not looking for mercy or absolution, Ward. But Hive and Daisy will be looking for absolution."
That's... Yeah. Yeah, you really... Love the writing there.
Yeah. Next one's from...
honest to God, though, like, that literally occurred to me when I was watching it. It's like interesting how they use the word absolution, because that's going to come back later this season. Like, it's... If you watch the show enough times, that one was going to... It stood out to me, and I'm glad it stood out to somebody else. So thank you, Serenity, for pointing that out.
Next one's from Gary Marshall. The piece of music at the end is called Crossing into Darkness, and it's one of my favorite pieces of the show. It was really good.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw it, but I put it in for the longest time, the whole music playing and everything. But man, it's really, really good. I can listen to that all the time. The way it builds and builds to a crescendo as the heroes return and are reunited with their friends, only to drop when Gemma realizes that Will isn't there. Breathtaking. There's a small clip of Bear conducting this piece, only a minute long. It's linked. It shows how they record the music with the scene shown on a large screen in the background whilst Bear conducts the orchestra. That's cool.
Do you want to watch it?
Yeah, if it's like a minute long.
So good, man.
His hair is so short here. Oh my gosh, it's gone so long.
This was 2016.
Yeah.
So. Actually, no. I think this would have been 2015.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
That Bear guy knows how to make some pretty good music, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you for sending that clip. Was it what?
Gary Marshall.
What was it? Okay, thank you very much for sending that. Always enjoy, and I always want to say for those of you who follow us, if you have anything you want us to react to that involves the show, please leave the links, because we would definitely love to really absorb as much media as there is out there. because the whole point of this podcast is to enrich ourselves in the culture that is Shield, and oftentimes that may not be as expansive as I think we would have liked, especially at that time. But still, if you have something that you think we would like to react to and it pertains to where we are covering the show, please go ahead and do that. Thank you for that. And yes, Crossing into Darkness might be the best piece of music on the show. Like, it is really, really good. And I think you could tell how much of a response they got out of it, because it kept coming back, I think, for a lot of big moments on the show. Okay, next one.
Yeah, next one's from Shield Vids. The show never focuses on how exactly Hive made it out, but it does give you clues as to how it is possible. First off, earlier in the episode, Simmons tells Malik and his team that their calculations are off. This establishes that Malik's calculations and timing of the portal time remaining open and Ward's calculations that he used to set his watch are not in sync. This means when Malik later on is in front of the containment pod, he tells his men they have less than 15 minutes to gain control of the portal room from S.H.I.E.L.D. using his watch, but that is not correct. So, yeah, already it's establishing that, like, yeah, what the information Ward has versus what Malik is very different. So the portal could have been open a lot longer than we thought it would have been.
Yeah.
So it was more than a minute, probably. And keeps going. Mac, Daisy, and Coulson and Fitz all head straight towards the containment pod after leaving the portal. The only way they could do that is if Hydra left that area already, and the only reason they would do that is if they think they ran out of time. Which, yeah, I actually forgot about the soldiers still trying to break in, so yeah, meaning they already left for sure, Malik, and then it would have been a clear spot for them. Since the pod is some distance away from the portal, in that time it took to get there, Hive would have climbed out of the portal since he was right behind them. Mac tells May to shoot when they already got to the pod. He would then go to the road to meet Malik. So, yeah, basically the distance between them going to the pod, going up, and shooting it could have bought him some time. So, okay. Yeah, I actually, it's the whole calculations are off thing that actually does help. It makes me, rework
and
the
I
whole
had
thing.
forgotten about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take that into account, but that's a really good explanation. Thank you so much for that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, should we go ahead and get started with today?
Previously on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He saved my life, and I never would have survived without him.
Do you love him?
Yes.
It's interesting because I did say earlier this was a while after the finale aired. So the finale was like in December. This is now after the mid-season break. We're now in March. And in between these two episodes, the first season of Agent Carter aired on TV.
You watch someone you care for bleed out right in front of you.
And now I'm coming to put you down. It's over, Ward.
Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, I did, right? Or was it maybe it was the second season of Agent Carter?
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember. Maybe it was, say, season 2.
Maybe, because it did
Yeah, I think
start
it was season 2.
some time after this show came out, so it could have been the second season by now.
Yeah. And that would have been the last one.
Sadly.
Yeah, very much so. This is a very unique way of opening up this part of the season. This is the first time they attempt to do something like this. Very ominous, of course.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me, it feels like a little bit of a throwback, right? To how a lot of the season 1 episodes would open.
Mm-hmm. I was actually just thinking that too. It's just like, all right, we're back to normal now. Let's just go back to, weekly, I don't know, spy stuff.
Episodic
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, this one, sometimes the show feels the need to give us a bit of a reprieve from a lot of, like, the tense stuff that happens. Mm-hmm. So they'll throw one of these episodes out there to kind of, like, reset some things.
No, yeah.
And this is actually kind of an important episode, too.
It happens with a lot of shows, you build up to something, you take a step back, let us know what each character's thoughts are as to what happened recently. I say this all the time with Supernatural. It's the same thing over and over in every season, where it's just like something big happened last season. Now the brothers have to like go back hunting, see if they can get back in sync because of what happened and all that, and then they go with whatever the next big thing they have to deal with. And this is basically the same thing. But the thing that I always loved, we're gonna basically start seeing it here, is I love that 3 story arc of every season that they do, especially with like as the series keeps going. Like, I don't know, I never felt that way with other shows, especially like with like Arrow and The Flash. I always felt they were dealing with one main thing throughout the entire series, and I just felt they were just prolonging it for so long, and I'm kind of like, can we move on from this? And you always just get those random episodes that like nothing really happens, and it's the ones that I would call filler in those moments. But this one though, I do not feel the same at all.
Shield doesn't do that.
No,
Shield doesn't do this. They always give you something that's worth your time.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this is dealing with the ramifications of the fact that the head of the ATCU is assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
That was the president's task force. So what is the president going to do now? So now he's going to work with Shield,
mm-hmm.
which is going to come in and out throughout this season. And ultimately, this is the beginning of Shield being legit again, which is a big thing in season 4.
Yep. And going.
So
back,
again, it's like, go ahead.
Just going back to normal of it being like a very, very top secret spy organization, not this whole big one as it was before.
Especially Sundays. Mom cooks on Sundays.
That it's really impressive how the show manages to deal with like they move a lot of pieces when it comes to like either transition, like this whole episode is really transitioning from the last season into this new season, this new mid-season, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing, I think, ever feels like, okay, we just have to get through this to get to the good stuff the next week. Like, they always do the best they can to put in a good episode. And this one has an interesting dynamic where you have, I think, Coulson and May doing their own thing, like right here.
I don't know how it is that your agency still exists, nor do I want to know. But I appreciate your help.
Does that mean you're reauthorizing S.H.I.E.L.D.?
The public has a short memory, but not that short.
Disagree. Sorry, President Ellis, I disagree. The public has a very, very short memory.
Then why is this meeting happening if S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist?
They forgot a pandemic happened and people died.
Mm.
And it was kind of somebody's fault for that, but
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Also, what I'm liking too, this first part of this season, they kept bringing up the fact like, hey, what's happening with Daisy's task force? Like they were gonna build that, and then obviously they gave reasons as to why it's been slowed down, why they not really want to rush it too much and all that. And I loved the reasonings for it, especially with Coulson explaining it. But now we have it. We have Daisy and what's his name?
Joey
and
Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln for sure, but we don't see him yet.
And Yo-Yo eventually.
Yeah, but like we're building it up now. It's just like, oh, this is cool. So it's just really nice seeing the both of them together, Daisy and Joey working together.
Even if you can prove any of that, Gideon Malik has a stake in almost every country's economy.
It's a really interesting dynamic setup here where the president of the United States is literally helpless to really help S.H.I.E.L.D. when it comes to Gideon Malik, because he inserted himself into all like the top heads of everything. It's kind of like Jeffrey Epstein, right? It's like he made friends with the most powerful people, and so he has dirt, I guess, on everybody, and was untouchable for a long time. So that's the equivalency that I can imagine here.
Tell me you didn't try one of those little fish oil pills. I had my fingers crossed for X-ray vision. I wasn't the only one.
I mean, I thought about it. I didn't actually do it. Rehab was a bitch.
You two deserve each other. Let's fan out a couple more rounds.
I was so glad we got that line though too. It's just like I would have been curious too. It's like if it's safe to do so, fuck it.
Get powers out of it?
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, you never know, like,
Yeah.
how it's gonna affect you. Like, you could end up like Daisy or Lincoln, or you could end up like Gordon or Raina.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's worth it.
Manos arriba.
Maybe think 3 years high school Spanish. All right. Don't do anything.
Oh yeah. Huh.
No, yeah.
Some people do take 3 years of high school Spanish. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That was a weird camera shot, though. Like, he notices her, and she's just literally standing there, just not really looking at anything. You could at least put a guy there. Be like, I don't know.
Powers aren't random. We were taught that each is given to fill an evolutionary need at the time.
Are you being serious?
To create equilibrium within the species, yin yang and all that. At least that's what we were taught.
An actual intelligent design.
That's the Kree for you.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of all about that. Isn't there like a Kree character called the Central Intelligence? Wasn't that in Captain Marvel?
Yeah. They
Right, the Central Intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, we got that in Captain Marvel,
Well,
and then the Marvels said,
What was that? By the way, was that an AI?
Yeah.
God thing. What was that? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was just an AI. And they showed it in Captain Marvel. And then in the second one, they established that she just destroyed it.
Oh yeah, she really did fuck
and-
him up, didn't she?
He's asking for you.
Yeah.
He spoke.
See, I at least would have like cameras and microphones. I would have the room bugged just to see, you know, what would happen when he doesn't have visitors.
What do you need? I'm hungry.
I don't know if they use CG to make him look like that, but it looks good.
Chair's an upgrade. At least there's that.
No sé lo que dice.
Yeah, again, I don't know what you're saying.
Either that or makeup, but it did look really good.
Oh yeah, either way.
You think it was a gift from Dios or pescado?
Pescado.
Yeah, fish. I know my way around a menu. Yeah, you're an alien. My partner's one too. You'll see us soon enough.
The way he was just like.
Don't make me crush you.
What great timing though too. It's just like,
Right?
you can see my partner soon, by the way.
You have a problem with this? Because I do. But they're telling me Gideon Malik is untouchable. I won't accept that. We're good to go?
Yes, sir.
Cutthroat Coulson really is something.
I
isn't
know.
he?
He's really going at it.
She works a clerical job at a museum. At night, art classes.
Artist turned gunrunner. Kind of sexy.
No record.
Doesn't add up.
She got powers, that's how it adds up. Andrew was a lovely head shrinker before he turned into a not-so-lovely inhuman serial killer.
Didn't have to take it like that either way too. It's just like, you know, she probably. Oh, I guess they don't know the whole context yet. Dang it. Never mind.
Yeah, we don't really.
That's so cool.
That was a good
That's so cool.
one. What is he eating?
I think that was
Some
like
kind
a
of like raw animal.
for sure, but it looked like a bacon wrapped turkey leg, but super raw or something.
Gideon Malik.
I'll handle everything.
He sold me out. You sold me out.
Before he sold you out, you reached him. How?
You sold me out.
It's interesting how every time they bring back the memory machine, we see some really fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, every time. And they're gonna reuse the memory machine, I think, for the last time, officially in the season finale of this season, in a really interesting way. So it all comes back. I do want to say that I appreciate how particularly Elena I think every line of dialogue this entire episode, and she has a lot of lines, obviously, this episode, are almost entirely in her language.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty rare for a show like this to do, because usually what would happen is they may start speaking English as soon as, like, I don't know, halfway through their debut episode.
Yeah.
So I do like this a lot. And like her Spanish is genuinely like great.
Yeah.
Like there are some that are like Selena Gomez where it's like that's not Spanish, that's High Valerian. It's like whatever that, you know? So you never know what you're going to get with that. But I do believe, I think, well, this is, I don't know the nationality of Natalia Cordova, but I do think Yo-Yo is supposed to be Colombian, right? Yeah, it's Colombia that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Bogota, Colombia, I think, right?
Yeah.
Thieves in uniform.
Ellos solo son poderosos porque tienen armas. Pero ahora yo tengo el poder para proteger a mi gente.
Okay, so now they know the context. I was trying to bring that
Yeah.
up in the earlier where he was, what was it, Hunter? I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
how
Hunter
could it
was
happen to her?
making
It's
an
like, oh, she got
assumption.
powers. That's what happened. They're kind of like, hey, man, what the heck? But they shouldn't have taken it that way because like her thing is she finally has power to do something good about it and all that.
It would have been easier if you had.
It's this part of the season where we're really beginning to see all kinds of people get powers. And I feel like all of this is like in the first half of season 3, we're kind of like we're told a lot of the fears that Rosalind Price has about like what could happen, you know, with normal people getting powers like this. And we mostly just see it manifest with Lash. But I think with like this beginning, this episode really kind of like sets the stage for like, oh no, like all kinds of people can, you know, get powers, and we're going to be able to see them use it in very different ways. Like with Elena, she was genuinely like becoming a freedom fighter in a way, like, you know, for her country and to kind of like fight against corruption. Meanwhile, the cops themselves, the corrupt police here got their own player, and look how they're already taking advantage of that too. So it's like really, really, I like how the show is like playing this out, how it's a bit of a glimpse of like of what would happen to normal people. The show doesn't really delve too much into like, you know, the normal, but this is a nice like window into like what it would be looking like.
Yeah. Just got out of it.
Yeah.
But then also too, the MCU had it right here. Could have worked out.
Didn't they?
Could have
Right?
had the X-Men, you know.
Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really did a lot of groundwork for X-Men. Even though, because like basically Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are not treated like the Inhumans. Like there's no Inhumans royal family. They take Inhumans in name only, and they take a bit of the mythology, but they basically the story of the Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just X-Men.
Yeah, basically. I mean, maybe not X-Men because they didn't have the rights at the time, but like either way, other characters that they could have brought in, like Kamala Khan earlier. I don't know what other Inhuman characters there are, but just to even, you know, keep building it up. That's the thing. As much as I like the first, you know, 4 phases of the MCU, they could have done better at bringing up more and more characters towards the end.
Bueno. Si los mandamos al diablo, les derretimos sus armas y les borramos.
I do like this scene a lot, where you have Joey kind of translating for Mac, but this I think establishes the first real connection between Mac and Yo-Yo, and the first thing that they have in common, that is such a personal thing for them, is their faith, and that's something that's going to continue to bind them, as the show continues to unfold. Because I feel like it was really this scene that kind of like proved to Yo-Yo, okay, these guys are different.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just more corrupt cops.
Why are you here?
We're part of an alien task force. There's an invasion happening of power people, like Medusa eyes over there.
It's the second time in this episode somebody who's tied up is just like has a smirk on their face. Oh, you're gonna get it right now. That's amazing.
That's such a oh, that's funny too. But in a lot of action movies or shows, there's always that thing where they have the gun, but they don't shoot it from a distance. They just walk up to the person, point the gun like right at their faces, and then that's when the person can disarm them and all that.
Yeah.
I like that you can avoid that here with Yo-Yo, because it's just like, no, we have to get it from a distance so we can show off our powers and all that. And it just, yeah, that works in their favor.
Oh. Damn. Oh, shit. That must have hurt.
That's...
Yeah, that's a bit graphic, isn't it?
Cost me millions to be sure. I'll have to shut down a few offices, but don't get too far ahead of yourself, Mr. Coulson. My influence reaches a little bit farther than that.
He's not joking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the scary thing about like somebody like him. Do you see how you said it'll cost me a few millions?
Yeah.
It's like nothing. It's like nothing to him.
If we need backup, or if you do, we're a tap away.
Backup. I'm sorry for kidnapping you.
I'll see you soon. Yo-Yo.
Goodbye.
One of those things where you can just tell already those two are gonna get together, aren't they?
Yeah, right from the
You
beginning.
just kind of already see it.
More chemistry already than Daisy and Lincoln right there.
Oh my god, right?
How about you? Maybe you don't have to miss dinner this Sunday.
Boy, that's... It's so funny how in the last episode, they were making out and no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
It was like... Oh yeah, Fitz and Simmons are in this episode. I forgot about them.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just that they're not really doing much with them. They're just together, they kiss, you know, they have a few quips to each other. And that's about it. Compared to what they did with Rosalind and Coulson, like, I mean...
Yeah.
Can we start over? Back to where we began.
16 and achingly shy.
Two people, endlessly inquisitive, about to embark on a relationship that will change their lives, but they don't know where it will go. I'm Gemma Simmons, biochemist.
Leopold Fitz. Engineering.
Earlier, when she said, I miss you, and he turns around and says, I'm here, they use this as one of the clips in one of the final episodes. When I think they're trying to use the machine, the Chronicom mind prison, to find out where Fitz is hiding.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they cleverly used it because it was kind of like a wink and a nod to the viewers, because we missed Fitz that season because he couldn't be there to film it. So it's just like, we miss you, and it's like Fitz saying, I'm here, haven't gotten anywhere. So it's just interesting, like little bit of like, I guess, trivia. Why I think they used this clip when I believe it might have been episode 11 of season 7.
It's good to delegate.
Do it.
So it's not because you don't trust yourself. It looks good.
Oh, look. There it is. That's what Fitz was doing all episode. Yeah, he threw himself in his work. There it is. Okay.
Yeah? Feels real.
Feels like the others. It's not the hand. It's me.
Maybe you're not supposed to get over it. Some things you can't move past. They scar you, change you permanently.
I don't know what happened there, on that planet.
I do. You joined the cavalry.
That may be one of the most like sentimental things May has ever said.
Yeah.
But it's like it's the right tone for it too, because yes, what does it mean to join the cavalry? It just means like having, yeah. Sometimes you're wounded, sometimes you win. Like you need to do. It's this idea of like, it sucks that I have to do this, but I have to do this for a greater good. War needed to be put down, and of course, who could have possibly seen this coming?
Mm-hmm.
Like
the doctors are with him now, but they say his powers are strong.
And to be fair,
got some good news today.
I believe it was Coulson or Fitz shoots a flare at Will's body, so it's like from Fitz's and Coulson's perspective, I don't know. They don't know much about this thing, this entity anyway. So I guess like from their eyes, they would have just like assumed, oh well, I guess that's that. Anyway, let's go.
Once I make a believer out of him.
And that's the moment Gideon really lost, because from that point forward, Guerra is like no longer his.
I'm confident this will work out, Coulson.
Mr. President.
I'm glad he's back though. He's so great.
Yeah, it's one of these things where you realize, like, I mean, the show really knew what they had with like General Talbot. Like I think definitely has just been a character that made an impact from the very beginning. If I'm not mistaken, we haven't seen Talbot since season 2A.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's been a minute. In fact, it may have even been like a whole full season since we've seen him. So they do bring him back in some really nice ways, which means Adrian Pasdar is great as the character. Let me get into some quick reviews here, and then we'll close off with Ami today. Let's go to the AV Club. Usually Oliver Sava does this, but now I think this is Alex McLevy. It's not a coincidence that this episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. went flying by like a bullet train, stopping only in the final minutes to take a breath and look around to see where things lay. Almost everyone's in an emotionally fragile place. Coulson's still grieving the death of Rosalind. Fitz and Simmons are on eggshells around each other. Even our mysterious ward alien is hurting. So the team and the series does what it does best whenever no one's terribly excited about opening up and sharing some feelings. It charges headfirst into action, kicks some ass, and enjoys the exhilaration of a frenetic adventure, not stopping for breath or more than a heartbeat in a certain new people's case. Is a good way of getting some additional distance from traumatic events, and bouncing back is a textbook example of how all the bells and whistles of a standard issue S.H.I.E.L.D. case can actually function as a diverting distraction from interpersonal relationships for both the audience and the characters. And that's not to say that the episode wouldn't have benefited from a little more engagement with the mental and emotional state of its core team, but when an episode is racing along with such gung-ho commitment, it makes for good fun, even if in retrospect it looks a little thin. The center of the episode on first glance appeared as though it would involve a new member of the team, Elena Rodriguez, aka Yo-Yo, although those of you invested in the comics realm also know her as Slingshot, a core member of Secret Warriors. It took all of 30 seconds after the first good look at her to realize she would turn out to be something other than the villain our heroes initially pegged her as, since she was very nice to Mac after knocking him out, of course, and turned out to be stealing guns to protect her community, not commit violent acts. But after an accelerated introduction to the team, Yo-Yo was on her way back to Bogota, albeit armed with a S.H.I.E.L.D. communication watch to stay in touch, presumably we'll be seeing her again sooner than later. But still, it was a bit of a surprise departure after essentially dedicating the mid-season return to her debut. Well, this is going to be a big character for the rest of the show, so it's okay. Like, thinking about this character, it's like, do you think it was a mistake to not immediately, like, have Yo-Yo be in every episode? Because, like, Yo-Yo doesn't really start being in every episode until, like, really season 5. Like, season 4, she is a lot more, season 4, I think, is the first season where, like, she's officially, like, on the team, even though she's not in every single episode. But with season 5, 6, and 7, she is in every single episode. So it's just like, with seasons 3, well, I think with this season, she's like in this episode, and she'll come back like in, I think, 2 or 3 more episodes this season. So she's not really like, she's like a guest star, really, at this. She's a new character that's going to have a big future in the show. Season 4, I mean, I consider her a main character, but, like, they definitely don't have the space for her, I think, yet. Because, I mean, with right now, I think with Yo-Yo, they probably didn't want to have her on because they knew they had to deal with the departure of Bobby and Hunter, which is going to happen in 2 weeks. And then to have, like, Yo-Yo be on the team as soon as Bobby and Hunter leave, I don't think they wanted to do that to her. Because then I think you would have had a situation in which, like, fans would be like, they're already introducing a new team member after these 2 leave. So I think that's a big part of it. And I think we're also meant to feel like there are people missing. I think for better or worse, once Bobby and Hunter leave, for the rest of this of season 3, you do feel their absence. They even have a whole episode where Mac's like, you know what? I'm just like depressed as shit. I gotta get some downtime because it's really getting to me. So that's one thing. And then with season 4, what else happens? They add a lot more characters too. It's like Talbot comes back. There's also the Patriot, which is Mace, Director Mace. Ada, Radcliffe is a bigger part of it. Ghost Rider, the Russian superior guy, the Senator Nadir. Like, that doesn't even get into there's a lot of new characters that get introduced, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think they probably also weren't too sure just yet. Although, if you watch this episode, I think they're pretty confident what they're setting up between Mac and Yo-Yo. So I think they definitely have plans for this character, but it just didn't fit in with what else they had going on in this story for this season, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, that's what we're thinking of. Back to the review here. Then again, we have plenty of folks who need checking in on, starting with everybody's favorite, will they, won't they, Fitzsimmons. This week is Fitz's turn to be a little silly, as he's been keeping his distance from Gemma for a rather inexplicable reason that he didn't do enough to try and save Will. Luckily, Simmons is sensible enough for the both of them. I miss you, she says plainly, brushing aside his concerns by pointing out that Will died helping her escape, and that the notion that Fitz could have done anything to bring him back is absurd. So they both smile and decide to start over. As friends, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see them back on Team Fitzsimmons, but does anyone really think they'll be able to keep up the buddy-buddy routine for long before the profound feelings they hold for one another bubble to the surface? I think it's like, the language here is interesting when she says, like, let's start over. But I don't think it's really accurate to what happens. I think she says to start over to just reset the table because there's just too much baggage to deal with right now, and let's just try and get over that. And let's just go back to, like, being friends for right now. But the good thing about this show is when it comes to any other show, that would have meant that, oh, well, I guess they're not going to be a couple until like a season later or 2 seasons later. No, this actually happens a lot quicker than what this would suggest. So there is that to deal with. Coulson, meanwhile, is 100% on Operation Malik takedown. He's nowhere near resolving the anger and sadness that Rosalind's death caused, but as May points out, once the dust has settled, maybe you're not supposed to get over it. Some things leave a scar, she says, and the change to Coulson is likely permanent. Not that she minds the company. You join the cavalry. It's interesting to see S.H.I.E.L.D.'s boss to try wage his battle on multiple playing fields, meeting the president, calling up Malik just to shine him in with the knowledge that every link to the phone call is now a target, and most significantly of all, forcing the young Von Strucker to take a trip to Tahiti. It was uncomfortable for everyone to hear "Please kill me" being repeated once more, but at least this time it finally gave Lincoln a chance to do something right for a change. It looks like the show is determined to shove, oh god, the shade, the Daisy Lincoln romance down our throat. Oh god. This is flawless. I gotta read that sentence again. It looks like the show is determined to shove the Daisy / Lincoln romance down our throats, much like their tongues. And I appreciate them trying to give him some reasons to stick around beyond the relationship. But for now, Daisy is still the most interesting thing about him. Sorry, Lincoln.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, it's just like they're not really doing much with them. Like that ending when they were together, it was the only time they were together, which is weird. And I mean, it's understandable why, because you needed Joey there because of Yo-Yo speaking Spanish. You need him. He speaks Spanish. Like that just fits. Would have liked it. I think they would have, if they maybe took a chance of, whatever operation that was going on, they worked together. I mean, Daisy, Lincoln, and Joey working together. We finally have the team. The team that she wanted. Blah blah. And I don't know. That would have been cool to see that in the beginning. They separate because he's got to do his own thing too. He helps out whenever he can on the field. I don't know. They could have done more, I think.
Yeah, I think they're going to try some more next week. But it's just like, this is the issue. There are just like too many episodes that have like already come and gone. 11 at this point of the season. And like, there is... This is ultimately the problem with like, maybe why it's not working. Because maybe... No, I'm not even sure. I'm pretty sure Jed and Marissa were like, okay, we want to commit to this being a couple, but I think the mistake they made is that maybe there were just too many things happening and maybe there were too many players, because if you wanted to make us feel that romance, maybe there should have been more time paid attention to that. It feels like there was just maybe there were too many things they were tackling at the same time, because what excuse is there for the fact that in one episode I already ship Yo-Yo and Mac?
Yeah.
We don't even know this person. Like, she just came on the show and I already think they have better chemistry, romantic chemistry, than the main lead and then her new boy toy. It's like, I think maybe they thought that, I guess they did a lot of groundwork into the romance that Lincoln and Daisy had in season 2. And I think I would buy that if it had continued. I don't know what changed, but like in season 2, Lincoln and Daisy do have genuine chemistry. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what changed, but with this season,
it's just gone. Yeah.
I can't find it. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird how they had it and then it just evaporated.
I just think they didn't know how to really bring them together. Just bring them together. Like what? Because the chemistry that they had, it was just all about their inhuman stuff. But like, what about their regular thing? Like, what is there for them to connect to? Because you have Fitz and Simmons with the whole science stuff. They work together on that. They get excited about any sort of sciencey thing that they get, and that's cool. And then you have Coulson and Rosalind, where they just have little things in common that they're kind of like, oh shoot, hey, you like this? Yeah, I like this too. And then that's how, that scene with the whole, he's like, oh, nice ride. And she's like, yeah, thanks, and all that. And he keeps looking at it and she goes, eyes up here, and all that. Like, that works so well. Instant chemistry. What's there for them to connect to? in these episodes. You know, even in that conversation that they had in the episode, he was just like, oh, you know, I wouldn't mind, you know, staying here and all that. I think you could have done something more with that. You know, he was really bothered by what Coulson was doing. Maybe he could have talked to her about that. It's just like, Coulson was pretty intense and all that, blah, blah. And, you know, maybe she could have talked him through it. You know, she could have talked him to transitioning into S.H.I.E.L.D., how he transitioned her into being an Inhuman. I mean, that could have worked. I don't know. Yeah, that's just the thing.
Oh, okay. And then welcome back everyone to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coverage. This is I didn't have a stroke. I'm not repeating the top of the show. I'm just like, this is what it says here in the review, to be clear about that. This writer is Alex McLevy, and I think this is the point where I think they take over for the reviews for the AV Club. I'll be taking over weekly reviews, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. As always, I encourage, Excelsior, whatever. Okay, so I guess we have said goodbye to Oliver Sava. And now we're going to have Alex McLevy for AV Club. Quickly with Eric Goldman on IGN. I have to admit, I rolled my eyes a bit when the S.H.I.E.L.D. mid-season premiere began with 3 months from now. Yeah, how do you feel about that, David? Do you think it was it was okay? Or I'll tell you something. When I was watching season 3B, I had some issues from the first time. For one, I really missed Bobby and Hunter, and it got me a little bit bummed out. And then when it came to the last 5 episodes, they kept teasing who will die on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season finale. And I'm like, do we really want to go with that? Like, it's just like, okay, whatever. But I mean, it's fine. It's not terrible. What do you think about starting off the mid-season like this?
I mean, it's a common thing in a lot of cable shows.
Yeah.
They always want to tease who's gonna die, or they want to tease what the heck happened to this thing. What's gonna happen, just to keep audiences engaged and all that. I really don't mind it. I think the cool thing with this one is the cross thing, because you're kind of because you see that and then you see it on Yo-Yo and you're kind of like, oh shoot, are they already revealing to us who's gonna die or something? And then you see where how it just keeps going to one person to another and all that. That's a really cool way to kind of keep teasing us as to who the heck is gonna die. I remember in Arrow they were doing that too. It's just who's gonna die in this one, and you're kind of like, I mean, it's not gonna be your main character. It's not gonna be this person.
I wonder. Yeah, that's why it's.
I mean, the only one is just who do we dislike the most here, and then you can just figure it out from there, and that's it. I remember in Arrow when they did that, and I'm just kind of like, I didn't really care much for this character. She was cool and all, but I can move on. You just for any show really, they don't really take much risks. So
yeah. Eric says, still, the scene we got was so random. It succeeded and it piqued my curiosity. A spaceship, floating blood, and then an explosion engulfing someone inside the ship wearing a S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform. A pretty intriguing out-of-context scenario. The floating cross was interesting, too, given this was an episode where Mac and the newly introduced Yo-Yo both spoke about their faith, which would make us easily assume it's one of them in the ship, but probably too easy. As for the episode itself, there were some rough spots, but ultimately several notable events occurred. Yo-Yo's abilities were portrayed in a cool way, showing her strange speedster powers, which slingshots. We see what you did there, Eric. Her back to where she started, beginning with her opening takedown of those cops. And I really dug seeing her and Daisy team up in the conclusion as she disarmed their opponents while Daisy would take them out. Coulson's phone conversation with Gideon was fun. And I'm in wait-and-see mode on Hive, the Inhuman being now inside Ward's corpse. Brett Dalton did a good job showing this was not Ward, as he spoke in a calm, methodical manner. But we really haven't seen him in action yet to know what he can do. The end made it seem like he was about to kill Guerra, but I wonder if instead he might amp up his powers or do something else that would show his might. I'm so glad to see President Alice, that's William Sadler, once more reprising the role from Iron Man 3, meeting with Coulson simply because it had to be continued, murky how much S.H.I.E.L.D. was or was not connected to the government, especially after Gonzalez's other S.H.I.E.L.D. storyline occurred. At least now we understand that they are officially unauthorized, with the ATCU being their new public front. Though I'd still like to know who's funding them and paying everyone who works there. But having Talbot now headline the ATCU, but answering to Coulson would be amusing. Really, when it comes to like who's funding S.H.I.E.L.D., it's ABC Television Network. Who else? I get it's nice. Daisy decided to let the would-be Secret Warriors live their own lives and be on call when needed, but really? It's taken forever to even just get 4 members, and 2 of them aren't even going to be around. It seems like the secret part is too secret if they aren't even actually an ongoing group. One other thing that bugged me in the episode, Hunter revealing he tried awakening in human powers via fish oil, and Bobby admitting she was tempted to do as well, all treated as a throwaway wacky joke. It just seemed like it was downplaying what actually could have been a notable subplot. It's just a joke, Eric.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said too, it's just I think that is a genuine thought anyone else would have had, and it just makes complete sense. And then at the very least, it was those 2. It makes sense with those 2 because Mac looking at them being like, "Why the fuck would you do that?" That makes sense that he would not take any chance with this because he got messed up by one alien thing. He doesn't want to get messed up by another, and I think he can just leave it up in the air for the rest. Do I think Coulson would have taken it? I think he would be tempted, but I don't think he would have chosen it at the end. And then May, I feel like she would have taken it. I don't know. No, she would not. Actually, I'm wrong. Horrible wrong.
Yeah. Let's go to the Reddit comments. It's nice that they let Joey take the role of acclimating to the newbie into the role of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Secret Warriors and the scope of her new powers, the same way Skye and Mac introduced it to him in the season premiere. It really shows his growth since then, even if it's been off screen. Well, they were not kidding about the first 40 seconds. Also, I'm so glad it didn't drag the whole Fitz killed Ward thing. I'm not quite sure what this new beginning means for them, but I'm so down for it. I get why Joey and Yo-Yo got downgraded to the minors, but so that they can keep bringing in new Inhumans without it getting clustered. But damn, if Joey didn't get shit done this week. Oh my god. There was more chemistry between Mac and Yo-Yo in 5 minutes than Quake and Lincoln have ever had. Oh my god.
Yep.
Well, it just seems to be a universally accepted thing at this point. Jeez. Brett Dalton had less than 10 minutes of screen time, and he's already fucking killing it in this role. I cannot wait to see what he has in store for us. That's, yeah. I loved how they built up Daisy's entrances with little quakes heralding her arrival, made her badass. It's so awesome. The room just starts shaking and most people are confused, and then bam, the door comes flying. It is kind of comical too. Mac and Bobby in the exact same like tied up situation. They're like, "Oh, you'll see. You'll see what's about to happen just now." It's fun. Gosh. Let's see here. More along the same comments that we've already been seeing here. Nothing too different. Yo Mac are the one true pair. So again, people were already shipping those two from the very beginning. It's Yak, damn it. Oh my god. Yak? That's the ship name? I found it really interesting that when Mac and Yo-Yo were having that conversation about powers and faith, and that it's the first time, Mac has even mentioned him having some sort of faith. I wasn't really expecting a follow-up with Daisy as them bonding, but it didn't I was expecting, but it didn't happen. The way that line was executed by Mac didn't seem to me that he was saying that just to appeal to Yo-Yo, but a genuine answer. And that he hadn't considered the connection between powers and faith. It brings up a whole new layer with the Inhumans, perhaps the culture when Afterlife was around, of it having a spiritual/religious component, along with the coming of age aspect. Considering that maybe Terrigenesis is the equivalent of baptism, Lincoln did say that Inhuman powers weren't random, that the powers were to fill an evolutionary purpose, a literal intelligent design. So it would make sense how some people would lean into predestination and religion. Really interesting commentary there about how that would be, I guess, received or acknowledged by some people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go ahead and go over to our final individual that we go to for an opinion here. We're going to go over to Ami.
Hey, at least you know he's on the up and up. That's one good thing out of the situation. You could trust Talbot. He's got a code. He's got honor, at least, in some capacity. But yeah, okay, going back to the Ward thing real quick. So they did say the sandstorm of this thing is related. So it can become it. And he's talking about, I'll make a believer out of you once I made a believer out of him, talking to Cascos there. And then the sandstorm went out. And we talked about before about the potentiality of him budding and controlling Inhumans. Is that what he's about to do? He's about to make him basically a thrall, an extension of himself. Or is there something else, some other mechanic to that? Which is interesting though, because it also throws into a question on a huge old wrench into a lot of my speculations on how it works for Ward himself, because they did say his body did die. And then when he turned into sand, you could see the muscle, the bone, and all that kind of in Ward's skin peeling away. So if he keeps doing this, will Ward even exist? Is there a possibility of Ward coming back? I mean, I'm sure there will be. I just don't see the bridge there. I don't see the path to that. Well, actually, no. Oh my god, this would be so fucked up. Okay, so again, I've talked about this before. The only thing I know about future seasons, and that's because while this was going on, they pushed the marketing really heavily about Gabriel Luna's Ghost Rider. With Ghost Rider, we know souls are involved, and that's next season, I think. I'm pretty sure it was season 4 that Ghost Rider pops up, because there was, again, a huge media push for it. I'm just wondering what if Ward does die to this thing, but somehow makes some kind of deal, his soul climbs out, he Kratos his way out of the afterlife. Or as a demon, for all I know. I don't know, it's fucking Ward. It's interesting, though, because this actor... Again, I don't know the actor's name after all this time. I do not know the actor's actual name. He gets to play up a wholly different thing here, as opposed to what he's done with these different arcs and feelings and moods for Ward. He just gets to be a wholly other beast with this creature, because he's no longer any extension of Ward other than the physical body. So like the mannerisms and the contortions and just the way he carries himself is so different. So as an actor, I'm sure that's got to be really fun. And I like that Malik is, as much as he is a believer, he's pragmatic enough to know not to give all of your faith into something. And now he's like, hey, Coulson survived going in and going out, and you came back, and he's still alive. Everybody else that got sent over is still alive. So are you even what you say you are if you allowed that guy to live? And yeah, challenging it, but he's like, hey, I'll prove it to you. Still collecting Inhumans. And they scooped up that one guy from Colombia, the Medusa Eyes, as they called him. He was able to basically petrify people, shutting down their nervous system, everything. They turn gray, they lock up, they seize, they also go numb. We learned that as well. So yeah, I love though Joey and the utilization of his powers, like the sunglasses the guy was using to cover them up so that he wasn't making eye contact with his victims, and he just melted them to his face. And apparently though, they were able to pick him up, and maybe their doctors are able to undo that, and but is he going to have scarring around his eyes now? Is he going to look even more wicked? And who else do they have on their side that Lash maybe didn't get to? We know Dacascos, that's one. And then there's this guy they just scooped up as well. But on our side, we got Joey, we got Lincoln, we got Daisy. Now we have this woman, I don't even remember her name, to be honest. What was her name? Elena Rodriguez, otherwise known as Yo-Yo. And that's such a great name, because she's not just a typical speedster either. She's not just super speed. The way they visualized it, though, was really, really cool. But she can only go out as far as she can get in a single heartbeat, and then she'll snap back to her originating spot. So she'll just blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, if you understand her power, that does leave her extremely vulnerable. Thankfully, she can do a lot in a little amount of time, and the likelihood of, catching her off guard is small, but you can plot around that. So she's got to learn how to strategically use her power, because right now, obviously, she's been going up against people that she's more than capable of outwitting, outmaneuvering, outsmarting people who are not equipped to challenge her, but that's changing. She's entering a whole other world now that she's kind of put herself out there. Like when she went up to Medusa Guy. Like, she did get to him, but she still caught a little glimpse and went slingshotting right into the wall because she was paralyzed after that. There's moments like that where she does become vulnerable. So, I don't know. And I like that there's this idea that while Daisy is building out her team, they're opening up this trust in this way to allow them to live their lives, but people are doing their own thing in their own neck of the woods. Like, she's doing good here. She's got family here. And, they can't make her come along for the ride and join the team, but she is a good asset, and they are trying to do the same things. But instead, like she said, when she was in her hacker group, they didn't all live in the same place, but they were still able to communicate, network, and figure things out and come together and work together. That's why they gave her the smartwatch to keep in touch, so if anything does happen, she can basically be summoned, be called upon, and vice versa. It's a two-way street. If she needs help, they'll be there. If they need help, she'll be there. See, that's another thing, too, about her power, though, is, she can't necessarily just run to them either, It's interesting. I like it, because, again, you could get really broken with super speed, and that's one of the things that, especially in later seasons of The Flash, the more the show went on, creating scenarios in which Barry just can't automatically solve the problem in an instant becomes increasingly difficult to do, and a lot of the times they kind of fail to do. So this kind of limits her ability to a point where she can't just break every scenario. Daisy was trying to come up with this plan with Joey, and she was able to just bop, 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 and it's done. They did it. That's exactly how that should have worked with somebody like that with this ability. And they played it up. But she can't permanently be on the team, and she's got limitations. She can't do a citywide run of everything. She couldn't clear the entire building if she wanted to. And I don't know, I like that, because again, super speed can get super busted whenever you try to incorporate it into your stories. Hell, it can solve 90% of your problems, but that's a smart way to work around it. Coulson, though, he's on that warpath. We got enough nuggets that we needed to make a hit into Gideon Malik's operations, even having to publicly show that he's pulling out and closing down offices because of the financial hit he just took to his organization, thanks to our team. So I like seeing that. The relationship with the president coming in to talk to Coulson and at least acknowledge that they will stop hunting S.H.I.E.L.D. They're no longer a rogue agency. They're more or less this covert black ops group that they kind of just have to accept that they need in the world. There's an advantage to not allowing them to be seen in the light of day in the public eye because, again, like you said, public memory does not forget that quickly. So you can't just greenlight them and reintroduce them into the world and not have a little bit of a pushback from that because of everything that happened before. And plus, they're just way more useful to be able to work off the books without any responsibility coming back to them. So they got the green light, but it's just, I don't know. I like that. It gives them their autonomy, their freedom, and something they haven't had up until this point. And I like that that's what's come out of this at the end of the day. Rosalind's trust in Coulson paid off in the end. The way they utilized Lincoln in this episode I thought was really cool, with him jolting Werner's brain to get past that traumatic event so they could dive into his memories to get that information so Coulson could make that jump to get Merrick. I thought that was really cool, especially with him coming around and joining the team, because he, just like Joey would have had, he was given the opportunity to leave and go and have a life, but he decided to stay here with Daisy, making himself kind of a part of the team, which is also nice. The whole thing with Fitz and Simmons, I loved all that, because obviously there's a distance, there's a guilt that Fitz is carrying around because of what happened. Now he's rethinking, and the moment is in the moment he made a twitch call to shoot him and burn his body with that flare. And he's like, well, I don't know, could he have been saved? He's running through these scenarios because he feels guilty because he knows that Simmons cares. and he's like wrestling through. Was that subconscious? Was that part of him that didn't want them to be together? Was that a selfish act, or was there more that he could have been done? He's running through this thing over and over again in his head, and it's caused this distance between him and Simmons because he feels like he let her down. But at the end of the day, like, he's gone above and beyond in so many different ways. She tried to get him involved in what her and Lincoln were working on, just to kind of talk to him because she misses his interactions. Like, since he's been back, I don't know. It's just like these little moments. It's just really sweet. And the way that paid off to them towards the end, it was just so heartwarming. Like, how much she just misses what they had. And despite everything that went through, like, she's like, let's just start over. And they do the whole introduction thing. And I hope we finally get to a spot where they can just be together. That's my hope. That's my hope. And then obviously we opened with that jump ahead, that 3-month jump into the future from the present day, which was this episode. And there's that jet, the jet from the group's plane, the little baby one that comes and nests in the top. And then in the zero gravity, there's just little droplets of blood just floating in the air, some debris, and then Elena's necklace and a body that just has the shield patch. So, as we know, she's now agreed to be called upon if they need her, and I'm hoping that's not her, but I think that's kind of what they're teeing up, which has me super scared. Or it could be anybody else, and that her necklace just ended up on that plane. It could be a fake out, could be a red herring, it could be somebody posing as a SHIELD agent, and that's their corpse up there, and maybe they snagged the necklace off of her before they died and she was able to get away. But it is a great drama element to bring that in there. It just reminds me of like the pool scenes in Breaking Bad with the bear in the water, and then you just jump back and you're like, how the fuck, what's gonna and it just creates this tension. It's just really, really clever, and it just makes me wonder if there's going to be a fake out or some level of deception involved in that, because it's what that's reminding me of. So I don't know. I'm just being hopeful because, again, much like with Rosalind and Coulson, I loved the interactions between those two. It was just so electric. And I think, like, as funny as it was, all those scenes with her and Mac were really fun, despite the kidnapping, despite all the stuff. Like, the way they were able to talk through their language barrier as well was also really cute. And also the fact that she apprehended him, tied him up, and then they're just the way they kind of worked through that and their final little moments, it was really cute. I don't know if they're meaning to set anything up there, but I just thought that was really endearing. And it's just another one of those things, especially with that open, especially with what happened with Rosalind, that's got me really scared to even be happy or smile around any of these characters at all when they're introduced like this. So, I don't know.
All right, we can stop right there. David, do you have any thoughts before we close out today? Overall, I this is a solid, very good episode that, as usual, just, gets us a opportunity to catch our breath, but not for too long, because it's already setting things up and we're already getting the train rolling. We got introduced to a brand new character who is going to be a huge part of the show for the remainder of the show, and just a classic episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. David.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, everything you just said. I mean, we said it when watching the episode and all that. I like Omni's breakdown of it. Especially the part with the whole speedster thing, that he was kind of worried about how she might be overpowered and all that. Although, to be fair, I would have trusted these writers to handle her powers far better than even what they did with the Flash. They had a great run in the first season, but yeah, as the seasons kept going.
Remind the viewers at home, how many seasons did the Flash go on for?
Oh my gosh, how long actually? Almost 10 maybe?
I thought it was 10 seasons.
Yeah, let me see. Let me look it up real quick.
I think it was, because
Flash.
How do you do that?
Yeah, and I mean, every once in a while they get 9 seasons. Holy shit!
It was 9 seasons.
Yeah, and every once in a while there will be an episode, where they utilize it really well. But one of the best ones was when this nuke was gonna go off in the middle of the city, but no, it went off. You literally see it expanding, but with the Flash, he slows down time and everything. And at some point he just stops it. He's just like, okay, how do I fix this? Because it's literally exploding right in front of his face, but he slowed down time enough, so he got to figure it out. And then he goes okay, you, the friend that can teleport things, okay, you open it, but he's in flash time, in stopping time. So his portal is just like a little baby thing that just pops up and it doesn't work. Okay, that's out. Let me get other flashes here that I know. Hey, if we throw our lightning together, we can probably stop it from keep it going off more. They try it, but then one of the flashes is down because he was super old. Like his powers aren't working the same. So now, okay, that's out. And so as the episode keeps going on and on and on, he's doing like all the math, trying to figure everything out. But it's just him because everyone else is on pause, and he starts like sweating more and more because he keeps using his powers. And so like it just keeps building up. It's like it's really one of the best episodes of the show. But. And I'm sure these writers probably could have figured something out too with her powers. And I mean, they kind of did later on how they upgraded her. So, yeah. I think, like I said, these writers, I think they could have done something way cooler with it. But, oh well. I still like what they did though with this. It does, what is it? What's the word? I don't know. She's not overpowered. That's what I was trying to say. Thing.
Okay.
And then I forgot what else he was bringing up, but yeah, overall good episode.
Yeah. Thank you those of you who watched and were commenting along. If you have any questions, again, if you have any comments about anything that we said or anything that was covered in the episode, and of course, if you have any materials that you wish for us to react to that revolve the show, particularly those that maybe either of episodes that we covered or what we're currently covering, go ahead and do that. Stay under our spotlight for more content and more, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.